Hey guys, Mr. Moki Moki here with Dayglow. I really want to make this video quick, so I'm going to give a quick shout out to Trunks Blade, who made our background for our channel. Definitely go check him out. Check him out. I'll leave a link to his channel in the description below. And let's get this video started. So today we're talking about what decks you play and why do you play them. So basically, what does that mean? I'm either talking to people who play decks because they want to be competitive, or they want to play decks because they really find them fun. So, yeah.
So basically, we're gonna run through and what Mr. Moki Moki said, just break down why people play decks, what they like about the decks, basically get to the vital reasons on why decks are popular and why certain decks aren't, and stuff like that. So let's basically ask the starting question: what deck do you play and why? Obviously, there's certain reasons people play certain decks, and with each format, we really see the people who actually like the decks for what they are. I certainly know that this format, if it's what it looks to be, we're definitely going to see the people who actually really like windups stick with windups. But we're going to see the people, and this is probably the majority of the population, just dump windups because they're not as good anymore. And this is where we can really categorize the players who play for fun and the players who are just in this for some sort of competitive pleasure.
And just to make this clear, I'm not really 100% sure that this list is real, but for the sake of pacing in the video, and because I just don't give a fuck, let's say that this list is real. Now, for that fact, people have probably started playing Fire Fists, and well, not probably, but yeah, they played Fire Fists. And let's see, do you actually play Fire Fists because you like them or because they're insanely good? And don't get me wrong, they are insanely good, but the question you have to ask yourselves, are you gonna play Fire Fists even after they get hit by the ban list? And when I mean get hit by the ban list, I mean they get shit wrecked by the ban list. Because that shit needs to go. But then you could ask yourself, or maybe you're a Nordic player, you play decks like Nordics, you like the way they are, maybe you like Norse mythology. It's questions like that you need to ask yourself. So when you're asking what deck do you like, maybe you're not even sure about what deck you're into. So you ask yourself, like, man, what art do you like? What art style? Like for me, I really like Heroes, and I really like, I don't know, Gem Knights, because the art style on them is just incredible. And then you look at like the play style from them. I've always liked fusions. So when I was a kid, I always played fusions even before Elemental Heroes were out. So the fact that Elemental Heroes came out, where it was just incredible. And then like you talk about your interests, where like maybe you're into warriors, and I'm into warriors, so that's one thing. And then some people are into like reptiles and all that shit, but I know other issues that come up as money issues.
That's one of the big issues for us is money issues. Definitely for myself, I was into windups. I got into them a couple months before the pack that they came in was coming out, and I definitely know that at that time they didn't have Shark, they didn't have Zen Mighty, they didn't have all the good rapey shit that is out right now that everyone likes. That, you know, when it came out was close to $100, and for myself, I said, "There's no way I'm forking that out just for a card game." But you know, there was a time where I said, "You know what? I want to try making windups." Basically, because I like the way they look, I wanted to try something with them. And right now, I'm in the same issue with prophecies. You know, you have your $100 prophecy cards, you have your $50, you have your $25, and it just gets really overwhelming at the end of the day that I just can't see myself spending like $300 on a Yu-Gi-Oh deck. To me, that's just ludicrous at its finest. But you know what? There's always reprints. That tends to be something Konami is very into these days, so thank God for that. And you know what? When it comes down to it, those two decks are very good, and that's where you can kind of subject everyone to the diversity of competitiveness. And that's where everyone just will ride that deck out because of how good it is. People will be looking for the big boss monsters at the sneak peek because they want to make the deck as quickly as possible so they can win as possible. And then once the ban list hits them, they drop it and then they move on to the next one because, they're putting all the money into the game. Whereas the loyal fans to the deck, they'll ride out that deck for as long as, until they basically can't do anything with it anymore, or until they find a new passionate deck, they find a new deck they're passionate about. And that's the kind of players that we like to see. That's the kind of players that we're inspired by when we see these YouTube video decks where it's these odd psychic decks. Relinquish decks always inspire me for some reason. I really like anti-meta decks. The playing style really isn't what I'm a big fan of, but it's the concept. The concept of thinking outside of the box and doing something that is against the norm.
Yeah, and that being said, like you kind of do get influenced by other people who play the same deck as you. So you might get, like Dayglow said, he wanted to play windups, and then a lot of people were just playing windups, and they just got too expensive. But you shouldn't really let you being wanting to be diverse an issue for when you want to be playing a deck. So I know a lot of people are out there playing Prophecies and Fire Fists, but if you truly do like Fire Fists, then go out and play them. There's no beef against you. I know people will probably think that you're just playing it just because you want to be a top tier deck, but that's, the truth, and you should play what you like. But on the other hand, I'm not saying that you should just make a deck just because you like it and not be competitive. You should try to make the deck you like as competitive as can be, and that shows what true skill is, like true good players. Like if a player like Jeff Jones can take Psychics to a regionals, nobody's seen it coming, and win, then why can't you? Why can't you be one of those really, like, become a better player than everybody else and not play a top tier deck and win with a tier 3 deck or a tier, I don't know, fucking 58. Let's say that. But yeah, you should definitely try to make the deck you love the most as competitive as possible. And for that, I just want to say, don't give up on your deck.
This video is basically for motivational purposes. We definitely run into it, our locals. We definitely run into a lot of people who think the same way we do. So it's a nice feeling to be there. It's a little more of a welcoming feeling than going to other places that are, you see the same decks. You see Inzectors a lot. You'll see Windups a lot. But with the place where we go to, it's a lot more relaxed. It's not so much of a competitive nature there, although of course there are the odd competitive players that walk in, and the superstars, so to speak, and it's, it kind of throws everything off balance. But we're not here to target anyone either. We're just basically here to say, you know what, if you feel like, I don't know, Ally of Justice is what you like, then really what's stopping you from making a deck like that? There really shouldn't be anything. Take it, do what you can with it. You don't always have to subject yourself to throwing Tour Guide and saying it into everything, to throwing in Rescue Rabbit into everything. One, it doesn't work with everything, and two, when you throw stuff like that in, that kind of takes away the concept of it. And you'll see that with a lot of decks, and even personal experiences with Moki and I with our hero decks. We get a lot of suggestions, and it's thank you. I'll take that to heart, but at the end of the day, I'm not going to really ruin what I'm passionate about, what I built this deck on. And there's certain passion in my deck, and a lot of people will say, oh, why is that in there? Why is that in there? That doesn't make sense. I wouldn't expect it to make sense to anyone else but me. It's the passion that I built it on.
Yes. And on that final note, don't let other people ruin your deck or the enjoyment of the game. So yeah, just tell us what you guys like. Why do you like the deck you play, and why do you play it? Just leave that in the comments section below. And maybe if you guys want to see a deck profile on that deck, or maybe give us your deck profile and we'll post it up on here, because we love amazing decks. So remember to rate, comment, and SCRUB-Scribe, and remember to click some stuff because it really helps out. Peace.